Welcome to the Dems podcast, sharing the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the Dems podcast. And today on the pod, we have with us the man, the myth, and the legend, a man I love to call Delwyn James. But he's popularly known on social media as Mr. Fixer. He's a man with, a million, a million names and a million portfolios. So kindly introduce yourself to us, Delwyn James. Who is Delwyn James? Who are you? And who do you think you are as a person?
All right, thank you very much, Ademola. It's nice to be here with you. So, my real name is Ayodeji Ibitoye. I was born into a family of five. I was born in Osun State, Nigeria, and so far so good. I currently live in the United Kingdom with my family, Bristol to be precise. So I am a digital marketer, a CEO, and a businessman, and I also do coaching and mentorship for people. And my major is actually business and marketing. I have MSc in digital marketing from the University of the West of England here in Bristol also. And so far, so good. We established our new agency here in Bristol also, looking to expand out very soon.
Wow, interesting. Thank you very much for coming on board. I know you're so many things, but anytime I want to make a summary of you, what I just refer to you is a great man. And interesting, greatness comes with like a lot of challenges, right? So I know for me, my earliest memory of you was, meeting you back in my university days. But before we circle back to the university days, right, I would like for you to tell us about how growing up was for you, from your earliest memory of yourself, up till when you got into OAU. So what would you say about that?
I grew up in a very humble environment. Growing up was really challenging, but I bless God. God has been faithful. I came from a household where eating rice happens only on Christmas Day.
Wow.
I came from a household. I probably tasted chicken 4 times before the age of 12. It was that terrible, or should I say amazing?
Humble beginnings.
Yeah, so growing up was quite challenging. My parents, they tried so much to give me that proper education. They couldn't even afford it at some point. They had to withdraw me from a private school, and I was taken to a public school where I was tested, and I was told that I shouldn't be in primary 3, and I was just dropped in primary 4, like automatic promotion, with the hope that, okay, I should be able to do well in primary 4. At the end of the term, I came first in class. It wasn't as if I was that intelligent. It was because of the environment I found myself among children who doesn't see education as something that serious. It was a public school, for crying out loud. After a year, I returned back to private school where I had to return back to my normal class. And, after my primary school, I continued to Federal Government College, Ikiru in Osun State. I went to a boarding school, and I did that for about 3 years before my parent could no longer finance my education, and I had to return back to another public school to finish my senior secondary school.
Wow.
So it has always been it has been a mixed feeling. It's like this moment you're thriving, the next one there's no money to even survive. I learned how to also at a very young age. At the age of 12, I started selling what we call kuli kuli. Back then, I sell okri
That's
cashews.
interesting.
I sold so many things. Then that was the time I started selling Christian stickers. I sell stickers to people. I go door to door after school to sell stickers to families to put at their door. For example, I sell stickers, popular stickers that say this house belongs to Jesus. People like to buy things like that. So at a very young age, I understood what marketing is because, when I started, it was a friend of mine that actually loaned me the money to start the sticker business. And I got the stickers, but it wasn't moving. So I figured out that, okay, which of these stickers sold well? Then I realized that people love something that prophesy financial breakthrough. People love something that
Interesting.
prophesy or that makes them feel safe. Like, oh, this house is covered by the blood of Jesus. Satan,
Interesting.
there
Interesting.
no entry for you. So I
Sorry to
started.
interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. I think this actually speaks to one of my major philosophies that I love to tell my, fellow finance people, right? You do not sell what you want to sell. You sell what the market wants to buy. And
Of course,
that
of
exactly
course,
speaks to that
of
philosophy.
course. Yeah. So that was it though. That's just a summary of how I grew up. So a lot of people now they just see the success, they look at me and they say, "Oh, I want to be like Mr. Fixer. Oh, Joe, come on, do this for us." But they don't actually know that the owe Mr. Fixer started at a very young age, even though I didn't know or I never realized that what I was doing then was marketing, was sales. I just thought I was just being or trying to survive. I remember back in my boarding school days, I was literally like one of the few students that attended a boarding house and I don't get pocket money. My parent tells me, or they told me then, you are going to school, you are going to a boarding house where you will be fed 3 times in a day. So what do you need pocket money for? So anytime I'm hungry, I remember one very day, a, it was an emotional day for me. I was so hungry, nothing to eat. I don't have any provision. And I went inside the bush. I saw a palm kernel tree or a palm tree. I saw palm kernel. I packed so many of it, and I looked for a big stone and a smaller stone, and I started breaking them open. I ate until I was full inside the bush alone,
Wow.
and so
That's
we bless God. It's
that's a
been a
lot of
long time.
hardship. That's a lot of hardship. But then, diamonds are actually made out of pressure, right? Would you
Mhm.
say that the hardships that you faced while you were younger have had a very big impact in shaping who you have become today? Would you
Hmm.
say
Of course, I usually say this: if you're not chasing something, something must be chasing you definitely. A lot
interesting?
of people in our society now, they are a reflection of their past experience. If you've suffered, I am talking about real suffer, and I happen to be someone that loved the good things of life at a very young age. I can't just explain where the whole need for luxury came from. I've never experienced luxury before. I've never enjoyed luxury before. But I am the type of person that I love my anything I have, I love it to be different. I love it to be unique, even though I could not afford it. So that forced my brain into thinking about different ways I could have gained access to this lifestyle. And that in itself was really helpful. When I was in my boarding school, before going to boarding house, my mom, she handed me over to a cobbler, a shoemaker, who taught me how to make shoes and how to repair them. And in my boarding house, my boarding day school era, I was actually doing that for people and I was making good money. She also taught me how to make hair, women's hair.
Wow.
And on Friday, when we have our social night, our seniors, SS2, SS3 seniors, some of them want to have Bob Marley for social night. Some of them want to have little braid and all. And I do that for them. I plaited their hair. I did Bob Marley. I did different hairstyle for them, and they pay me very well. I mean, very, very well. I
Wow.
was talking about
You seem to know how to
one.
do a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And that makes me think, is that the reason why you got the name Mr. Fixer? Like, how did that name come about?
Actually, the name, the Mr. Fixer or the Fixer, the way it came was quite strange. It was given to me by two different people at two different times within a space of 1 week. I was doing my IT that time, industrial training in OAU, and my boss, who usually traveled away from Ibadan to see me in um, on site where I was working, actually gave me a task to complete. And having completed the task, he asked about a particular thing, and he asked that how are we going to do it? And I told him, don't worry about that. I will find a way to solve it. And he said, I really like you. I've never heard you say no to anything, that no, this thing cannot work. You are always finding a way to fix things. You should be called Mr. The Fixer. That was the first time. That same week, I traveled back home to Shobo. And I went to my sister's salon and I saw her packing different things from her store. And she was like, then she saw this CD and she was, oh my God, this was the CD, my first training ever. She recorded it on CD. So the thing was now really rough. And she was like, oh my God, I wish I can preserve the memory of this. I asked her to give me the CD. She gave me the CD and I was like, you know what? I'll find a way to make this work. She was like, why? I just like you. You just have a way of just making everything work. You are the confirmed fixer. And I was like, my boss
Fixer
mentioned this
again.
thing
Fixer again.
a few days ago. My sister is also mentioning it today. You know what? If I ever want to have a brand that's, that handles, that should be like 2007, that
Wow.
takes care of things like this, I'm going to go with the name The Fixer. And the name Gostock. And a lot of doors has opened for me because of that name. Some people, they will just hear my name for the first time. And they will be kind of curious that what do you fix? That's the question many people ask me, that what do you fix? And I'll be like, anything you want to fix. Of course, I majored in marketing, but I've actually done a lot of things. I've made a lot of money from things that I did not even figure out that I could have made money from. Take, for example, I remember the first property I sold in Nigeria. I did not even tell the person I'm into real estate. The person just said, oh, you're a marketer, blah, 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 blah. I want to give you this property, sell it for me. I'll be like, okay. Then I sold it within 4 days.
Mr.
So
Fixer. That's the That's one of the interesting names I really know you by. But then, speaking of fixing things, right? I'm going to circle back to the world of business, right? How did you fix yourself into OAU, and how did you fix, life for yourself in OAU? Because I remember that's basically my earliest memory of you. And then I remember you used to say like a lot of things that, I just speak snippets like, this guy's quite inspiring, like you gave me that idea that, oh, I'm somebody from a humble background and I'm very sure of the kind of bright future that I have ahead of me. Like that was the idea I always had of you. And in my head, I was like, this guy will go places.
Thank you.
So,
Well,
where did you go?
I completed my OND in 2007, and I wanted to go to OAU, so I did direct entry to OAU. When I got to OAU, I had two challenges. Number one, university life is completely different from what we had in Polytechnic.
Interesting. Sorry
So,
to interrupt you. What exactly did you study in OAU? Like, I've never asked you, but I went to the same uni with you, but I did not even know what you studied. I just knew
okay.
this guy.
I read quantity surveying.
Oh, wow.
That's what
Interesting.
I was in EDM, environmental department.
So you're
So
one of those
life
people who were
was,
always moving around with a T square and a board, right?
yeah.
Wow.
So when I was in OAU, life was quite challenging because, just like I said, during my ND days at Federal Polytechnic Ede, I did business. I sold fish. People know me as Baba Ledger
Wow.
in Federal Polytechnic Ede, especially the lecturers and non-teaching staff. They call me Baba Ledger. I sold dry fish all through. That's what I used to train myself. Then, and also I am extremely brilliant. I actually finished. I schooled completely on scholarship while in OAU. I
Wow.
was on Yes, I was on scholarship. So I realized, oh, this OAU life is different though. I need to be serious if I want to make it out of this place, because my first semester result was really poor. I was like, I don't want to lose my scholarship. One, number two, I need to know what I am doing if I want to, have a good life. Because my parent has always made me, you know, understood that in order for you to succeed in life, education is important. Even though I have a different mindset now, education is not important for you to succeed in life. You just need sense, and you need to have a plan for your life, and you can succeed.
Says a man with very good education. Says a man who
Yeah.
is highly educated with a master's. So
No, no,
reminds me of something I was telling somebody, was it yesterday? I was like, oh, you can say money is not everything in life, but you need to make money first before you earn the right to say it. So I think you
no.
have earned the right to say education is also important because you
Yeah.
have to feed, right?
Well, yes, I can say you can say that. So at OAU, I did a few things. Actually, I didn't do any business in OAU, but I did more of services. I I used to skate a lot and I dance. So people pay me, we go for dance shows, we get money from there. And I used to skate inline skating. I don't know if you've ever seen me skating back in OAU. I skate a whole lot.
It
Yeah,
was dancing, I remember because I was
yeah.
like, oh, this guy, this guy's a dancer. I was like, interesting. Interesting. We actually were in OEU at the same time with a lot of, entertainers that are like making waves right now. The likes of
Yeah.
Shakir, the likes of Black Bones, the likes of Chinko
Mm-hmm.
Echo. I know Shakir
Mm-hmm.
was a dancer in OAU. Did you ever have any gig with him?
No, no, no. Actually, the crew that I belonged, um, back then I used to dance with Chubsy. I used to dance with this guy. Is late now. I used to. We had a very strong crew. We even went for Malta Guinness dance, family dance. Sorry, Malta Guinness competition twice.
Wow.
The first one we were disqualified at the normal ground, while the second one we were disqualified at the semi-final stage.
Wow.
So
That's some
yeah,
interesting stuff. So you
yeah,
took that so really, really far.
and I also did this Malta Guinness campus tour thing, Martina campus tour thing. I won it. I won that once. During that Nescafe show, I did
Yeah, I did. I
dance.
remember
I
Nescafe,
danced, but
the
I didn't
talent
dance.
thing.
I got the skating gig. I was the one that got the skating gig. But God was really good to me at OAU because during my CWS/IT, I was able to, secure lots of connection. I have madass connection at OAU till date, madass connection with even up to VC level.
Wow.
We ran parole together. I don't want to talk about that. So madass connection. So
Still.
when Nuga game came, I got a contract with Access Bank. I was the one that got the whole of Nuga contract at OAU. So I did the whole banner, the whole billboards, the whole flyer, the whole everything. So I made madass money for the first time in my life. I
Wow.
saw millions in
You
my
always been
life
that
for the first
resourceful
time.
guy.
Yeah, so that's, and also when we did the swimming pool construction, I made a lot of money from that too. So I think I've just been this kind of guy because I'm hardworking, because I'm always that go-getter guy kind of a person. Life has a way of working for me. So, I can't say I'm lucky. I'm not lucky.
You're
I
blessed.
worked really hard for everything I've gotten in my life. For example, the man that connected me to the Access Bank gig, he saw me working on site one day. He saw my glasses and it was like, "Oh, I love your glasses." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it here on campus." Really? So he asked me to take him there. I took him there and he was able to get his own glasses. Why bringing me back on site? It was like, "Man, I really like your pushover about this one that you speak so well. What do you do?" I said, I'm a student now. Was I really? Man, I thought you're a laborer on that site. Now imagine,
Wow.
imagine how I looked for someone to think I was a laborer, not even a student. Even though I was a student back then. But what I'm just trying to say is, so at one point, the man just came. It was like, "Oh, there's this thing. I don't know if it's something you can handle. Access Bank is going to be the one to host Noga games, and I feel like this is something you can do." And he gave me that opportunity, and I took it well, and I did not misbehave. I consulted the right people. I did what I was supposed to do. I submitted the right quotation, got the gig. From there too, I was able to get other gigs. I got the gig for Super Sports too. I was the one that erected all the stand, all those strong stand that Super Sports used for their shooting, their coverage. I did everything. Then
Wow.
thinking about the whole thing,
And at
I've
that
done a
point in your
lot of
life, it
things.
was a really big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I remember then this BlackBerry Z or Q5 came out. Q5 or Q10, I can't remember the name. I got the phone today. I traveled home today. My mom said she liked the phone. I gave her the phone today. I got back to Ife the next day. I got another phone the next day. I climbed this badminton court at OAU. Badminton court to erect the billboard on top of that huge court, the pavilion, and I forgot the phone there.
Wow, no way. No
I
way.
remember just like yesterday, they removed the whole scaffold. The scaffold was driving off the campus, and I remembered my phone someone was calling the phone. I was hearing the phone ring up there. There was no way for me to get back up unless I rent another scaffold. I was just too busy. My boss was calling me. I was trying to do the company job. I was trying to do my own job. I had to get another phone that same day. So I had so much money that I did not even know what to use the money for. I could not tell anybody how much I was worth, but I had millions. But I could
As
not
a
share with
student.
anybody because this was me. as at that time, I've never had my own 50,000 naira. And all of a sudden, I became a millionaire overnight.
Wow.
Just
So would you say that was your first major breakthrough? Because
yes.
for everybody, there's that one contract, one job, one gig that just gives you a major breakthrough and makes you believe in yourself. Would you say that also, made you take yourself more seriously?
Actually, no and yes. And I'm going to simplify it. When all the money I made from Noga, Super Sports, yes, and then GT wanted to give me the same contract, but an elderly person, advised me not to do that because it would be a kind of breach. I was already working with Access Bank.
It would be a conflict
and
of interest.
GT wanted to hijack me to get the show, So someone advised me that no, don't do that. They are competitors. You don't want to work with this and work with that. It's going to ruin your reputation. And I was glad I didn't do that because at the end of the whole competition, Access Bank, there was this independent job. Access Bank just required me to execute. It wasn't mine. Access Bank funded it. They just hired me as the muzzle to do the job. And at the end of the job, Access Bank told me to take every material. You get? So the no part of the answer is because I didn't learn how to use my money wisely. I squandered everything I got from that. So,
exactly.
There's this Yoruba.
That's the next thing on my mind. I was like,
adage.
oh, you're able to manage the whole situation.
Yeah, there's this Yoruba adage that says, "Owo tomode ba kokori, akara lo ma fi nje." The English interpretation is, whatever money a young man gets first, he's just going to use it to satisfy himself. He's not going to spend it wisely. So I squandered the money just anyhow. But where I got clarity was still during that period. What happened was my boss got a contract to fix the sport complex, the whole floor of that sport complex. If you remember that indoor gym,
I do.
My boss told me to do the quotation. I did the quotation, and the job was around 3 million. And my boss said, and I quote, "This job is beneath me. You have learned enough on the job. Ayodiji, I give you this job. Go and do everything." So he gave me that job, and that was the first time in my life I started seeing myself differently. I started perceiving myself like you're a person of value.
Yeah, there's always that turning point. There's always that turning point
your
in life
boss,
where you take yourself more seriously.
Yeah, I see my boss like, God, when will I ever get to this stage? My boss loves luxury vehicles. He owns 14 luxury vehicles. 14 luxury vehicles. I'm not talking about vehicles of 3-4 million as at that time. He owns 14 of them. His least vehicle happens to be Lexus RX 330 as at then. So I was like, for this man to trust you to do this job, you know what? You need to start taking yourself more seriously. So I did that job. You know the way federal government job happens now. You use your money to do it, then they'll pay you after like 3 to 6 months. As a matter of fact, you'll be chasing them to collect your money. So when the money for that job came, it was really important to me, even though I've seen more with Access Bank and Super Sport job. I've squandered those ones, right? I was like, okay,
I guess it came at a time when 20,000 feels like 20 million to you.
Yes, you get it. So now I was able to appreciate the money. The profit from that job was less than 2 million naira, to be honest with you. And the reason why I was even able to get that much profit happened because my boss told me, whatever thing you need for this job, call the office at Ibadan. They will bring any equipment or any staff for you. But I dash you. So I fixed the doors So there's badminton court, the lawn tennis court, the indoor lawn tennis court, and the indoor gym. I fixed the door, I fixed the floor, I did the whole maintenance, repainted, changed some windows. Man, every time I look back and I remember that building, it gives me this vibe of, damn, you own this project, you did this project.
This is my handiwork.
This is my, it's not as if they put me there and say, I was an IT student that time, not go look after this. It is your job. Anything you do, you do. If you spoil it, if you do it well, I was able to do it well. I got the money and I treated that money very well. That was when I had my first fixed deposit in my life. I fixed 900,000 out of that money. Because I was like, I sat down and I asked myself, what did you use almost 6 million to do? I can't say this is that. Okay, I got a car. That was the only sensible thing. I got a car. But the rest, so I was going to Old Market. I was the name of that place on campus.
New
Buka, eat, enjoy myself, carry girls, enjoy myself. Eat. I wasn't drinking. I don't smoke. It's just food, drink, nice drink and all. So, well, bless God. So that's it.
Nice. So life in OAU was really fantastic for you,
Yes,
and then
yes.
heading into business. That is, apparently in OAU, you're established that platform for yourself to be known as the fixer, to be known as a business person. You already knew what you wanted to do in life. A lot of people who went to uni with us, right? I think probably it was in their final year, they started thinking about, okay, what do I want to do with my life?
What do I want to do? Yeah.
And it's quite unfortunate sometimes. Like for me, for example, I think it was in the third year I knew that, okay, I want to practice as a chartered accountant, because I had, there was a time we had, what's it called? A long strike, right? And then I was with the firm of chartered accountants. I knew that, okay, I would like to do this. I would like to explore this. It gets you respect in life and, earns you some money as well, right? But you had established that platform for yourself. And I remember we had, I don't know if you were in my set or you were in a set above mine. You finished 2015 or 2015? I've been in my set. So we even had to wait quite a while for NYSC.
Yeah, to happen.
Yes, to happen and all, right? So thing is, from there, leaving OAU, what kind of business, how did you not establish yourself in business? Because I remember meeting you again in Abuja, because it seems like your life and my life have kind of been intertwined. I saw you in OAU, I saw you in Abuja, in the United Kingdom. I still saw you again. I was like, what? There's something with this guy.
Okay,
there is something with this guy. I cannot understand.
Yeah. God works in mysterious way. I've always believed that there's a reason behind our path always crossing.
Interesting.
And I even know for sure that purpose is not yet established finally.
Wow.
Because sometimes God can send you guardian angels in form of a man. And just one word is all you need to hold on to. A friend of mine I met here in England a few weeks ago called me at night and he told me something. He said, "You changed my life completely." And I was like, "How did I change your life?" The first time I met him, the first day we got to see face to face, he just got a car. We've been talking. He said he needed a car, and it was like he borrowed the entire money, borrowed small money from his wife, borrowed small money from his friend, and he was able to get a car. He got a car for £1,200. Of course, cars, they are quite affordable. Yeah, got a used car 1,200, and we met. And I asked him a question that day. I said, "You've been in England for 2 years, and you could not raise 1,002 from your own pocket. You had to borrow from A, B, C." I said, 5 years from now, what do you want to say you have achieved living in England? And he could not answer me. He said he left me that night. That question seems like I carried a huge rock and I landed it on his head. That he started thinking about his life, that who is this guy? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get you. That's what our Yoruba people call ukoro.
Yeah, like
he gave him words that are like a rock, and
yeah,
he
like
hits him hard, and
like I'm
it's a
just
reality
seeing
check.
this guy. I'm just seeing this guy face to face today, and this guy has already pushed some words into my life. And he said he wasn't comfortable with his life anymore. It was like, if I am not careful, this is how my life will continue to be for the next 5 years, as this guy has asked me. And that one day I will wake up, ask myself this same question he has challenged me with, and I won't be able to say any major thing. So you see,
Exactly. You're listening that
after
person to give us that reality check. But for
yes,
where was that reality check for you?
well, the reality check has always been my background. I there is this phrase I usually say that I've stopped saying. I used to say one thing, that I don't ever want to turn out like my father.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. I was on my notes. I was actually good going towards that, right? Because I remember from some conversations with you tell me about your parental influences, right? And then I was like, okay, this man, must have gone through certain things that actually are motivating him. I was telling a friend recently, yeah, this friend is not Nigerian, and I think they're from South Africa, and they were asking me about how life growing up in Nigeria is, right? And how like the elders influence us in our ways. And then I told this person this, right? That in Nigeria we tend to have parents that will tell you these are the good elders, these are the bad elders, right? They'll tell you these ones, try to act like them, try to, behave like them. These ones, they're highly educated, right? Try to be educated so that you can be like Mr. A, Mr. B, right? And they tell you take your education very seriously, right? So that you don't end up like Mr. X, Y, Z.
Y, Z.
Then that actually gives you a mentality shift. It does something to your psyche as a person, to your mindset, right? That is, you see certain examples, right? And you say, I don't want to end up like this. Because children observe, children learn a lot by observing. And when they look at certain examples, they see character flaws, right? Not like, oh, this person is probably entirely a bad person, right? But then you learn from the failures of certain people who have been ahead of you and say, I do not want to end up like this. And then you also observe some people that, achieve certain things that you want to achieve, right? And then say, okay, I want to tread this particular footsteps, right? And it serves as a motivation to you. So for me personally, right, I saw certain bad examples growing up, and it was more like a childhood trauma for me as a person. That is to say, I do not want to end up like this kind of people. And it keeps me pushing harder than I should regularly push as a person, just because I do not want to end up like that. So I don't know. You can shed more light on that
Yeah.
in
So
terms of.
so 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 I've heard a lot of stories about my dad and my mom. And like I told you, at a very young age, I've always loved the good things of life. So I started asking myself some questions. Why are we like this? Why are we living like this? My parents, they are both educated. My mom went to OAU. My dad happens to be the first Akewi in the whole of Ondo State. My dad happens to be the first councillor in my local government, the whole Oyo State, now Osho State. No, my dad especially pioneered a lot of good stuff. So I'm like, how did it turn out to be the way he is? Why is he not successful financially? Then I started, I'm a thinker. I don't read. I'm a thinker. I can think anything, and I can even think my way to prosperity. I know how to think a lot. I started
Reminds me
thinking
of the
about,
book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
yeah.
Did you ever read that book?
I read that book 11 times. 11
Wow.
strong times.
That book was one of my very early, childhood influences. My father gave me that book to read. And changed my life.
So I realized that there are some mistakes my dad made, right? Also, Think and Grow Rich also gave me some clarity to understand my father more. Yeah. Robert. I realized that, okay, there's...
Read Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, Rich Dad,
Poor Dad. Yeah.
There were some mistakes my dad made. Also, he's a single loner. He doesn't have friends. So I was able to realize that, okay, if you don't have friends, if you are rich and you fall, which means you don't have impact in anybody's life, how can you get back up? No way. Even if you are not rich, but you bring something to the table, like support, being there for your friends when they need you. Take, for example, let's say you are rich, I am not rich. You have an event. I'm there to support. After iron, I've quickly gone to the right places. Oh, these are the prices. This is this. You transfer money to me, or you've given me cash. Bam! I don't ship the meat, enter compound, tie them for one corner. You're like, oh, when next you are having a get together, you know that I can rely on AY because he knows all these. Let's go and get meat. Let's go and shop for ram. Let's go and shop for goat things. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if I ever have needs, you won't just push me away because you know that this guy is useful in a way. When my grandma died, when we were doing my grandma's burial, it was AY that took care of all of the whole preparation. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It's always essential to be a resourceful person.
Yeah, be resourceful. Don't just be like, because me, I don't have money. My friend has money. I should not be envious, or I should not be looking for how to hurt you. No, rather, I should be closer to you, try to learn from you. And apart from learning from you, even though I don't have money to give you, we don't have any business transaction to run, but I should be able to put myself in a strategic position in your life that whenever you see my call, you won't be like, I beg, I will call him later. You know that, okay, this guy has his own impact. And if you've noticed me carefully, if you've paid attention to me, you realize that I'm the kind of person that you cannot look at me anyhow. Because number one, the value I bring to the table from day one, even if I will not end up being your friend, getting to meet you for the first time, you will know for sure that this guy is sensible. Even though I may not be your friend, because I've met a lot of people that I learned this from the late Ubon King. He happens to be one of my mentors before COVID-19 took him away. He taught us something. He said, you should not be eager to bring people closer. When you meet people, you have 4 places to put them. He drew something like a plus sign. Plus, minus, multiplication, and addition. He said, if someone comes into your life for the first time and you like how they are sounding, take them to the plus part.
Plus sign.
If you're meeting someone for the first time and the person sounds so annoyed, they're just talking about bomb, about sex, about shayu, about last night, how they enjoy themselves, put them in the subtraction immediately. If that person should ever ask for your number, don't give it to them. Find a way to quickly change the subject. Now, that person you've added to addition, then as time goes on, you realize that, okay, this person is someone you can actually engage with, maybe business-wise, spiritually, or career-wise. You put them in multiplication. That is, they are adding to your life. You multiply them.
The value.
But now, if that person that you feel like, oh, this person is someone that's sensible, turn out to be a casual friend, that, okay, there's nothing of value that this person can do for you. Of course, they are sensible, they are good. So they will be like you are putting them in a bank. So you subtract, you divide them and say, you know what, I will have this person's contact. Once in a while, when I see this person's status, I will, hey, Baba, just to be on the top of the mind awareness.
They are an acquaintance.
Yeah, like hey, like an acquaintance, but not a friend. So let's say something comes up, you can say, I remember Dada, na short guy, Dada, na photo videographer. Very, very good. If you see the quality of this guy, talk to him. So Dada will now get someone to say, hello, are you Mr. Dada? The fixer told me to call you, that you are good at this, that your price is around 750 to $1 million for video shoot. Oh, we need a videographer in Manchester. Can you do it for us? That will see me as someone that is good. That wow. So Mr. Fixer gave me a client. What has happened? Dada now holds me one
into their emotional bank accounts.
Yeah, you get. Now Dada is now holding me one for the future. So there are a lot of things that in life we don't think about, and we just do our thing. So for me, I was able to quickly decipher all of these things. I knew what I wanted for my life. I usually say this to my wife, that I've always known that I'll be very successful. I just didn't know when that it would be this early, to be very honest with you. And I also discovered one good thing. It is easier for an intelligent extrovert to make it in life than an intelligent introvert.
Word.
The few people I have coached that are extrovert like myself, they make it faster than the people I have coached that are introverts. Because as an extrovert, yes, a lot of people are not going to like you, especially if you choose to be very vocal, especially you take advantage of places like social media. Every day I block people. I don't care. Yes, almost every day I block people. And one thing about me is I've been able to understand the way social media works. You have to, don't be on the side of the crowd. You want to be a little crazy with a touch of corporateness on social. So when I bring a viral topic and people are like, I don't like this, Mr. Fixer. Why do you always this? Why do you always that? Guess what? As the heat is going on, some people are already talking to me in the DM. Some people are already requesting for my number. Yes. Some people are already asking for my number. Some people are already coming to say, Mr. Fixer, I swear to God, it's like you know me. I'm the one you are talking to. Why did you not just mention my name? I need your help in my life. Give me your account number. Let's talk. Let's do this. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So after my NYSC, I knew for sure that, you know what? Number one, I wanted to go to the big city. I knew Lagos was not an option because during my project in OAU, I was told to go to Lagos State Secretariat for my research and all. And I hated Lagos that time. Every day I was having serious headache at night. I said, no, Lagos is not for me. There was a day, it was your brother. There was a day I came to Lagos and I came for an interview at the on the island, and Deroju and I left your place 4 a.m. and we got there and we got to the venue 8:30.
Wow.
And I was like, no. I don't want
Nah, this is
Don't want this kind of life.
exactly right. You remember I told you I had an internship while we were in our third year in OAU, and then I had to wake up 4 a.m. all the time. Go to the island, right, from the mainland,
Mhm.
just to get that work experience. I think from then I told myself, no way, this is not for me. And that was why I settled in Abuja. So I can understand your pains and feel your frustrations. And then,
So I chose Abuja
Abuja,
rather than Lagos.
I saw you in Abuja. I was like, well, what's up with this guy? What's up?
So I chose Abuja. While I was on the job I was doing in Abuja, of course, that's another thing a lot of youths lack. They don't understand that even though you have a good dream, even though your dreams are valid, you need to serve someone first. Not necessarily someone in
servitude is
line.
important.
Yeah, not necessarily someone in line of your dream, but sometimes you need that experience. You need that life work experience. Take for example, you graduated, and from there you want to build something. You don't have the discipline. You've never woken up, dressed up for work. You've never been shouted at for not meeting a deadline. You've never had a sleepless night to submit a deadline that is not an homework or assignment. The only the only late night you've done happens to be for your examination. So getting the ability to serve under someone gave me that hedge. I've worked in an establishment that a lot of people don't just like me for no reason, just because the CEO happens to just like me also for no reason. And they're like, what's up with this guy? Why is it different? Why is it that CEO? Let me share a beautiful story with you before we end this. Our CEO, the CEO of the company I work, has been in Nigeria for over 10 years, and he has never tasted normal water except from Nestle. He came from America, and he said the only reason why he drinks, in fact, they use Nestle to cook for him. He said the only reason why I stick to that is if he should ever have an issue, health problem that is waterborne, he's going to sue them, knowing fully well that it was Nestle he has been drinking all his life. Again, now there was a day he sent me to the bank, told the driver to take me to the bank to go get some money. And on my way back to the office, I bought oranges and I was drinking it. I got to the office and it was like, AY, oral song. Is it Shoju? Is this sweet? I said, just the driver also was like, Mr. Jimo, do. He collected it from me, put it in his mouth, and everybody at the office looked at themselves like, you know why? Because our boss never eats outside. Wow. If you give Oga gifts that is edible, he will tell you in your presence that he does not take anything edible from people. And it was like, so you do Lotto. He asked the driver to take me back to the place and buy more for him. He only said one thing, Jimo, make sure you work for I know for bear, like that is the knife used to cut the orange.
Make sure you wash it yourself.
Yes, our boss is that. I don't know how to explain all these health conscious people. But the one he took from me, did I instruct the orange seller to?
That's some high level OCD.
He really likes me. When he's having meetings I met the former Jega, the former EFCC, this guy. I met him in his office. I met a lot of politicians with him. And, I was a staff, but this man will be having meeting in his office and he will send for me, tell me to sit down.
But that must have created a lot of jealousy for you.
Yeah, so a lot of people hated me for no reason. And through my ways, and after closing 5 o'clock, I'm going to stay back at work just to use the office computer, internet, and electricity to to quickly share small my small marketing
And
work.
that was in Abuja, right?
Yeah, and one day
So
he
how did you
challenged me.
transition into business in Abuja?
Yeah,
Because I remember
I
you were into selling jeans at a point,
yeah,
and then you started the digital marketing thing, right?
no. I marketing has been there of before the gym business. So
Okay,
one
is it like
day he
a startup or
challenged me.
something?
He
Like
said,
how
"What
did
do
you
you want
transition from working, for a company into now
to
working for
myself,
yourself?
working for myself?" Yeah,
Like
that is
because I know you
that
own quite a number of companies.
yeah, that is the part I'm getting to now. So he challenged me one night. He said, "What do you always do back at the office after everybody's always rushing to leave, but you will sit down and you are always the one locking the office. What do you stay back for?" And I told him, "Okay, I know how to do this. I can do this, and I just try to use the office resources because I know the office whole we staff to that. We office I know that law since that your work should be responsible to adding value to your life. If you want to build something, you want to better yourself, of course, your office should be able to help assist with that. So I use the resources at the office just to be able to work a little before going to my village because I was staying at Papi, now. So
Wow,
I told him that,
that's
and
the
he was like,
ends.
yeah,
If you're in the UK, just so that's the ends, bro.
yeah.
That's the ends, bro.
So it was like, whoa, really? You know how to do all of these things? Then he has this Lebanese friend who wanted to design a website back then. And it was like, I have a staff that said he can do this. Let him do it for you. He invited me into his office. The man spoke with me. I asked him, what do you want? I was able to get his brief. Then I designed the website for free. I did everything for free. I submitted it. Then after like 2 weeks, my boss just called me into the office and he handed me money in an envelope. I was like, what's this money for? He said, remember that Lebanese guy you built a website for? Said I should give you this. I counted that money, it was 350,000. If that man has asked me that how much are you going to build that website? My money then was 100K.
Wow,
He gave me
exceedingly abundantly above
350,000.
all that you ask for.
Yeah. So after a few days, I was in my boss' office, as usual. Then after the visitor left, he told me to wait back in the office. And he started asking me, he said, do you know that before you will succeed as a quantity surveyor, you will have to practice for at least 10 years? I said, yes. He said that, but this thing you already know how to do. Why don't you build on it? I said, I am building on it, but I need to work. It was a mentality. That slave mentality of education that a school put in your head.
They say
I
school
had
teaches
that
you to work for
mentality.
other people. I
Yeah,
need to
I
work
had
for
that
yourself.
mentality. So he gave me a huge benefit. He said, you know what? I want you to go start something for yourself. After 3 months, if you are not happy with what you're doing, come back and resume your work. Do you get?
And that was a shift.
And that
Back
was a
to
shift.
your calling.
Now, do you know the crazy part? I was making average of 300K every month from my business, whereas I was being paid 60,000 for the job I was doing.
Wow. Just to
But
give that context,
I
just
still
to give
did
that
not wake up.
context. Well, what can 60,000 naira buy? Or what could he buy
Yeah.
at that time?
Of course, I was able to pay my rent. My rent was 120K per year. And every month I spend about 35,000 on feeding and everything. Bachelor's life now. The only food I loved to eat then was beans and indomie. Beans, indomie, beans, indomie, beans, indomie. I merge
Imagine.
it with gari sometimes. Yeah, so indomie and egg, beans and gari, beans and no gari. I
What a
love
life.
beans. I love, so, and from there, you know, that time within a year, I saved 8 million naira. That year, I stopped working. 8 million naira. I had 8 million. I don't even know what to use the money for because I was still living at Papi, still paying 120K per
You're
year.
stacking up your cash.
Yeah, cash was just piling up. Once in a week, I go to Jabi Lake Mall to eat. Nothing more. I kept working. When you're not going to work, I think that is still the same habit that is still in me till today. I wake up like this, I don't brush my teeth. The first thing I start is work. I just pick up my phone, pick my laptop, and I start making money as early as 6 a.m. in the morning. Work. Now, my wife will say, oh, we should travel, we should go on vacation. Oh, yeah, let's go here, let's go. It's not that I'm beginning to spend money on, now I also have a baby. I spend quality time with my baby and all. But that was how I started my business.
So you do the digital marketing thing, right?
Yeah.
How did you not?
Then I wanted something. I wanted to sell a product. I wanted to have a product. That was why I chose jean business. I did my research. I said, okay, I want to do fashion, but I don't want to do everyday fashion. What is that part of dressing that people cannot get enough of? Everybody wears jeans. And that's how I was able to, I chose jean business, and that was it.
A debut, and I think at some point you had to sell the business, right?
Yeah, I sold the business before relocating out of Nigeria. Even though I'm planning to start the business again, but I want to have my own brand now. Like I want to have my own gym brand.
Okay, interesting. So quickly, I'm going to ask you a two-pronged question, right? I see something on your social media, right? It's called the billionaire mindset, and sometimes when I'm talking about you with my brother, and then it's like, oh, how's that with James? I'm like the man with the billionaire mindset, and then just to give you a little bit of context, myself, I do believe a lot in you, and my brother also appreciates you as well. So he says something. He says, people might be laughing at that guy, right? But then he's been saying this since his OAU days, and he's going to be a billionaire right in your faces. But you need to conceive it. I have what I like to say a lot: conceive, believe, achieve. Right? So you've conceived it. I know you believe it a lot, and you're achieving it as well. And I don't know. I don't want to put you in harm's way, but I think you're probably a billionaire in Naira already because of exchange
Actually, that was a time.
Well, I'd like to see you
was a time.
A billionaire in pounds, right? So
yeah,
back
it
to my
will
question,
happen.
right?
It will happen. Yeah.
Billionaire mindset. I like to think that is one of your philosophies, right, of life. And how did you come about billionaire mindset, and what are your key philosophies, that drive you in life and in business?
Okay. Well, billionaire mindset came from my earning power. I discovered two things about money. The people that chose to dig well, do you think that was what their destiny is?
We all are architects of our destinies to a very large extent.
I discovered that my father actually taught me this. My father is actually my mentor now. The higher you go, the cooler. So if you want to become a billionaire, why do you want to sell a product that you're going to see just £2 from? Do you know how many £2 profits you have to make? Pay your tax, feed your family, take care of yourself, build the business before you can become a billionaire? A lot. So I discovered two things. Number one, whatever thing I want to do, I should do it like a very rich person. And number two, whatever thing I want to do, it must be something that serves people that are hungry for success. Hungry for success. So my earning power gave me that mindset. There was a time, we got to a time that in a day we make like 1 million plus every day, every day, every day, every day. And I told myself, I said, this week I've made like 9 million. Last week I made like 7 million. The coming week, I was able to project what I was making every week. And I was like, if I continue like this, I know for sure what I would want, right? Of course, right? And
Exactly. You can project.
yeah, I can predict and project and be like, okay, if I do not fall below 6 million every week in a month, I've raised over 20 million. So I started seeing myself as what I am not yet. So the places I go
Believe,
to,
achieve.
yes,
You need
places
to
I
you need to
go
you need
to,
to put it on your social media,
yes,
right? And tell
yes.
them it's from me. Tell them it's from King James.
I go to places that are designed for the rich, for the exclusive. I join groups that wealthy groups. I started hanging out with wealthy people. I dress extremely well. My suits, they're all, bespoke. I don't buy ready-made suits, bespoke suits. They fly them in from Lagos, not through God is good or one boss. My suit is ready. They send it via flight, and I pay 90K for the logistic, bringing it into Abuja. So, just that our lifestyle here plus my
It's
education does not allow this thing,
different.
but I am going to resume that very soon, even though none of my suits fits me anymore because I've added weight, of course. So, but I intend resuming that lifestyle again. I started this thing that what's his name does, Gary V. I go out, they make my videos everywhere I go to, being recorded. I talk to people. I visit some of my high paying clients. I talk to them on camera, and all. So all of these things helped me a whole lot because, when people see me with some calibers of people, they'll be like, whoa, I know this woman. So this guy is doing something for this woman. I must do something with this guy too.
Interesting. Your association gets rub off.
Yeah, I have some clients that I don't post on social media because the other day, Obi Kubana, one of his closest pal, is my client. We talk. If I post something, he will comment on it on status. I have this kind of people, and I'll be like, there was a time I posted on my birthday picture, and someone was like, do you know this person? I said, oh, he's my client. He said it's a lie. I said, ask him. And that same day he came back, he said, whoa, now we need to work. So you were using me to play before when you came to make inquiry and saved my number.
So why is it that people tend to doubt people, especially in that
It's
part
not
of the world
doubt.
where we come from?
No, it's not doubt. That is why the power of networking is important. There's some people that has gotten customers because they are associated with me. That's just networking when you feel like, okay, this person's value is rubbing off on this person. There are some people that has held you in high esteem. Now, if someone is talking and the person mentions your name, they may not even let the person know that they know you. They'll be like, this babe knows Mr. Demola. Really? The way she's talking, seems they are kind of close. They'll bring her closer. Just because they're like, we have mad respect for Mr. Ademola.
Before that, one more question left for you, right? So we've spoken about billionaire mindset, right? That is your philosophies, just the key ones that you think have actually like helped you in life and business. What key philosophy would you say has actually like been a backbone for your success?
Number one, integrity. And number two, don't be normal. Normal is boring. Normal is boring. I used to tell people something. It's not that I'm just learning how to speak English small. I've not even perfected my English. And what I control, the person that speaks the best English in Nigeria cannot dream of getting it. Yeah,
Don't be
yeah.
lying.
Yeah, it's not about your spoken English or your the school you've attended or no. Don't be normal. You want something, be like a beast, be like the matador. You should be unstoppable. Be mad for that thing. Be extremely obsessed with what you're trying to achieve. You see this podcast thing you're doing right now? If you are extremely obsessed with it and you're gunning for knowledge every day as you're pushing, in 2 years' time, in 4 years' time, people will be talking about you. And me, Mr. Fixer, will be listening and be like, I know we Damien they talk about.
Mark the words of Mr. Fixer on the very first
Do you get?
of King James podcast. Mark the words of Mr. Fixer. Mr. Fixer said it here.
It's about, integrity, number one. That really helped me. It's been how many years? 28, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sorry, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 6 years. In my 6 years of running my business, I've not had a single case of he scammed me, he duped me, he dissed me, he dissed that. Integrity. My yes is my yes, my no is my no. If I flopped, I will apologize. If I delay, I will apologize. I underpromise, I over-deliver. I'm that kind of person. I don't overpromise people. And that in itself is not really good because some people want you to say everything, sweet talk them, convince them so that they will pay you. But I'm not that kind of person. I'll tell you this how it is, this how it is. Let's do it this way, let's do it that way. And if you choose to work with me, at the end of the day, you'll be mesmerized. You'll be like, wow, thank you for helping me. So, and also another thing that I've always been following is if you provide something people need, if you're able to get or bring to the table what people need, people will get it from you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If you are able to provide,
that speaks to what I said earlier when we were speaking, right? You don't sell what you want to sell; you sell what the market wants to buy.
What the market wants you to, So if you are able to bring to the table what people want from you, you will definitely sell. So that's it.
Interesting. So our last question to you is this is not really a question, but let's just put it right. It's on the script. So what's your advice to the younger generation, the up and coming, people who are looking up to you? And would I say looking up to myself as well? Like looking up to us, right? To a very large extent, they want to be successful. They want to become something in life, but then they need that, that ginger, they need that inspiration, they need hope, right? So what would be your advice to people who are up and coming?
Well, people need to understand that there is no overnight success. And also, people need to learn patience. A lot of people are not patient. The social media has given the wrong perception of what success truly means. They see all the good stuff out there, and they assume, okay, once you do this, money will come. No. Some say drop shipping. Oh, I'll make millions. It's a lie. Anything that will give you success will take time. And I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 years, time frame. So my advice is people should learn how to be more patient. People should also learn how to serve. If you cannot serve under someone without expecting anything, don't expect that you grow and someone will also serve you. If you don't serve someone, nobody will serve you.
Yeah,
That is
because
the
good
truth
good
about that.
leaders are actually good servants, right?
Yes. So that is my advice per se. And to round it up, uh, people should also learn how to plan long term. Study research has even shown that when you plan long term, you tend to achieve your goal earlier or sooner compared to when you're just planning for by next year I should succeed. 1 to 2 years is short term. Mid term is 5 years. Long term is starting from 10 years. So if you plan something that, oh, this company in 10 years, we should be able to get to XYZ, you can achieve that thing in 4 years, truth be told. So people should learn how to plan long term. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Thank you very much for your time. And we have a tradition on the pod, right? Whereby the guest, the current guest, leaves a question for the next guest, right? So, what would your question be to the next person who's going to come on board? So, I'm going to take that down. So, we'll ask that next person. So, what question? Any question on your mind to just give the person to answer?
If you're given the power to lead, how will you change the world around you?
If you are given the power to lead, how do you change the
How
world?
will you change the world around you?
Wow. Well said by Mr. Fixer. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. And of course, I am very sure that our audience appreciates you.
You're welcome.
We're out. Bless up, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.